on, and here you are. Last year, you're one of the most productive linebackers in the country. Did you think that you would ever get to this point 5 years ago? And if so, what pushed you that year?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I started as a walk-on. It's a little bit of a different journey than most guys, but starting out, I knew that this was my goal, and I kind of had the belief in myself of what I could do. I remember, after a couple of the first practices at UCLA, and I was talking to my mom, and I was like, I'm going to go to the NFL. So there was a confidence level, obviously, there, but there's still a level of, discipline you have to have when you start as a walk-on and kind of just working harder than everybody you're going against and really just having that mindset that there's not any work you're not willing to do throughout the whole process. And so I think that's been something that's been a part of my life, especially instilled by my parents. That's kind of brought me to where I'm at. Yeah, I think, as a linebacker, I kind of bring the whole package in terms of stopping the run, being able on third down, you want to send me on pressure, you want to drop me in coverage. I think I can really do it all, and there's not really anything that I can't do when it comes to being on the field as a linebacker.
Carson, have you met formally with the Dallas Cowboys?
I've had meetings with lots of teams. I think a lot of it that stands out is that I'm able to bring the whole package and, like I said, drop in coverage, stop the run, blitz, rush the passer, all sorts of those things. Usually when you show up to some of those meetings, they have the plays already ready for you. So I don't know if I get to show too many plays to these teams. I think, one of the things I like to say is, I'd really want any play that you pull up from any game, you'd be able to see the playmaker I am, whether it's, a runaway, still showing 100% effort and run into the ball. So I really hope that regardless of the play you turn on, you're able to see the type of player I am. So I was there for 1 year before I got put on scholarship. Really, going into that second year, I was a Core 4 special teams guy, which earned me my scholarship.
Carson, what was it like playing alongside Darius in the South?
Yeah, learning from Darius was he's been one of the most influential guys. Just whether it's me being able to ask him questions about his game and how he's developed, and then just also pick his brain on other things. He's a very cerebral player as well, and so just learning about how he watches film and the things he looks for pre-snap and all that sort of stuff has been something that's really helped me moving forward.
How would you describe it in one word?
One word, dog.
Which game you've done at both emulate? Who do you like?
My favorite linebacker growing up, still to this day, is Luke Kuechly. I think everybody knows about his cerebralness and his athleticism, but also, the second he gets on the field, there was a flip that switched, and he became a different type of guy. The level of violence and tenacity in his play. Like I said, I've done a decent amount of interviews with teams.
At UCLA, you had to face a lot of adversity the last year. Chip Kelly leaves, you have a new coach, you played new conference, you're flying across the country. What were the challenges associated with you from recovery to play 9 a.m. on your body clock? And how did you guys adjust and how challenging was it?
Yeah, I think the travel is always, that's just a part of football nowadays. So obviously it was a little longer travel than we were used to, but at the end of the day, it was football, and once the game started, we were ready to play regardless of where it was, and you kind of adjust the schedule to try and give yourself the best time to recover after those long flights and things, but really didn't see it being too much of a problem throughout the year. Sorry, can you say that one again?
What did you learn about yourself being in for special teams?
Yeah, I value special teams. I think that's something I don't take for granted because it really, propelled me into more opportunities. But like you said, special teams I think is one of the sometimes overlooked aspects of football, but it's one of the most important. We used to say, it's one play, but it's going to change. It could change the outcome of the game regardless of the phase you're playing. So regardless of how you view the play, you better be going 100%. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different paths that could happen, but I just kind of know whatever role I get put in, whether it's a special teams role, playing right away, anything like that. Whenever I'm on the field, I'm going to be going 100%, and basically doing everything I can to show that I deserve more from wherever I'm at.
I know obviously he's an offensive guy, but what are the Raiders getting at Chip Kelly as a person?
I think they're getting a great coach. Like you said, offensive guy, but that offensive mind is, you can pull up any of the games. There's free runners running wide open, in every game for the most part. So you're really getting a pretty genius offensive mind.
In your mind, what makes a linebacker, what the traits make a linebacker really great in coverage, and how do you develop those traits?
Yeah, I think a lot of coverage is technique. Athleticism can definitely help you, but I think technique is what's going to win it. Being able to be sound in it and being able to keep your eyes on your man if you're in man coverage, knowing the different route concepts that are going to be behind you if you're dropping in a zone. And so really a combo of all that. I think in terms of what I'm most proud of is, when I believe that when you turn on the tape, there's really never a play where I'm not going 100%. And, you're going to, as much as you don't want to, you might lose one rep here or there, and, you learn from it after film. But, my goal is to really, whether I win or lose, I'm going to be doing it at 100%. That was, coming into UCLA, I knew that I wanted something. You never know how football is going to turn out. Obviously, injuries can happen and things like that. And I felt like bioengineering was something that could be taken a lot of ways, even if I want to go a different route than science. But it was something that I thought was respectable to take.
Carson, can I get your top five linebackers in today's game?
Today's game: Roquan Smith, Matt Milano. I'll give you a top three. So Roquan Smith, Matt Milano, and then Fred Warner. Yeah, like you said, obviously we're on a rough schedule, but at the same time, I feel like that's kind of what football's been the whole life. You're always, trying to fight through some sort of tired. In college, you're going to class half the day, still got a full schedule of football. So just kind of showing that regardless of the circumstance you're put in, it's not going to affect how you come out, how you speak, how you play, and that type of thing.
Other than the flights, what are maybe the biggest challenges going from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten and the teams?
Yeah, I think there's different narratives in college football. I think Pac-12 was a bigger passing conference versus the Big Ten's heavier run. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, football is football. So regardless of what football you're playing, it's going to be physical. It's going to be tough. And, it really is just more of there's scheme changes. But in terms of the physicality, I think, you're getting that level regardless of where you're playing.
How big are you and how you imagine teams want to go?
Yeah, I think, you always want to be the prototypical size. Right now I'm sitting around 6'2", a little under 240. So regardless of, in terms of weight, I've never had issues with putting it on, keeping it off. So I don't anticipate that being an issue.
What do you think? Because like Tony,
Yeah, Ethan. He's one of the best guys I've played with, but also just in terms of being a quarterback, I think he was one of the most cool, calm, and collected, especially under pressure. So, one of the best players I've played with, and even best people off the field. He's somebody that was a great leader on and off the field. Yeah, like I said, I believe earlier, I'm a big fan of Luke Kuechly. I love his cerebral, how he plays. I think for me, film study is a huge part of my game to allow me to read and react fast. And then also just the way he played, he was always 100% effort.
Your post-snap process is very impressive. You read your keys really quick. When do you know when to read your keys and what you're seeing versus being an athlete that you can go off?
Yeah, I think sometimes it comes. Those are joined. If your key's showing you one thing and the offense, the running back reacts differently to the run you're expecting just because, somebody else plugged up the hole. Obviously, you go and react to that based off of just going and fitting somewhere where the ball is not going to end up going. Yeah.
how are you expecting the test
I'm expecting to test well. I believe I'm one of the most athletic linebackers here. Using an emoji. I'm going to go back to how I described Darius Musa. I'd find an emoji of a dog. I think, regardless of how you play or where you play football, you're going to face adversity. I think, obviously, starting as a walk-on is something that a lot of people haven't had to go through. But, I think just that whole journey and having to prove myself from that point has been something that I'm pretty proud of. Yeah, I think, you have practice for a reason. So regardless of what position you're playing at in practice, whether you're running with the ones, the threes, you got to take every rep meaningful because it's going to end up making an impact someday. So I believe it was really just having attention to detail throughout the practices and knowing that, I just needed one opportunity, and when I got it, I was going to be prepared. I just have a competitive nature, so and a belief in myself. I knew that I was able to play, and like I said, sometimes you just don't get the opportunity you feel that you should have had. And for me, I took it upon myself to make sure that when I got the opportunity, I was going to make the most of it.
Carson, what's the hardest workout for you?
Every day in the off season. I think it's developed over time. Obviously, I think every part of my game I think has aspects that need improvement. But I view it as one of my strengths, especially our zone drops, even man coverage. I feel comfortable dropping into coverage. But like I said, always there's definitely areas to improve, of course. I watch a lot of Roquan Smith. I'll go back sometimes and watch Kuechly. I love his read and react. I'm a big Milano fan. He's always around the ball, so just watching his instincts and things like that. I believe it would be instincts, and along with that, just run instincts, pass instincts, and pair that with athleticism, and I think also the character that I bring on and off the field.
Thanks, Carson.
Yeah, thank you.